Just a quick disclaimer that I will not be showing any footage from today's episode of Loki due to major copyright issues from Disney Entertainment. So, with that being said, be prepared to just watch my face without cutting to any clips. So without further ado, here's the video. Greetings, sir. This may concern Christian Aguilar here, back with another episode review. And in today's episode review, I'm going to be reviewing the Season 1 finale, Episode 6 of Loki. I was going to say Marvel Studios Loki, but I just went with Loki. Okay, so to get right into it, my rating for this episode right off the bat, so I can just talk in depth. Well, not too much in depth. I'm going to save that for the rendered image. I'm going to be on another episode tomorrow night, which is Thursday night, same time, 8 p.m. If you have not seen the previous episode that I was on last week for episode 5, and also discussing the What If trailer, link below. Before I get into it, I don't want to forget my rating. My rating for this episode, believe it or not, I think it's not low, but it's lower than every other rating I gave each episode. Like I kept giving it 5 out of 5 every episode that came out. However, this one, it amazed, but just in the beginning. As it went on, it kind of felt like it took a standstill a little bit. I love how it opened up, showing the universe, and we hear all of the different sayings and quotes from the Marvel movies throughout time, and it goes right into the episode from there. It's showing us the multiverse physically. A bunch of CGI'd made worlds and planets and cosmos. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. But I can't help but give this episode 3.5 stars. Yes, 3.5 stars. With me giving this episode 3.5 stars and realizing that this wasn't a 5 out of 5 thing. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the first 4-5 episodes. And the reason for that is because, like I mentioned before, the episode, after it's like building up the beginning, it's showing us, finally they get to where they need to be at the end of time. They have reached literally the end of time at this big chapel. And when they enter, they're greeted by Miss Minutes, who is basically revealing herself to be like a right-hand woman to He Who Remains. That's what they're calling him, He Who Remains. And after that point, like up until they reveal who He Who Remains is, it kind of comes to a standstill a little bit. The episode literally stops, and it feels like it's running in real time, as in like Loki and Sylvie are in the chapel talking to He Who Remains, and that just feels like nothing moves forward from there. We don't get like a really good sense of a conclusion, really. It's really open-ended, and that's one of the things that kind of like threw me off a little bit. I heard in the past that they were doing multiple seasons, that they had multiple seasons planned for Loki. However, the way Falcon and Winter Soldier went and WandaVision went, and then after their season finished, they're like, okay, that's it, only one season. I literally thought the same thing was with Loki, but that's not the case. At the end of this episode, we see a stamp that says Loki will return in season 2. And I'm like, holy crap, that's amazing. I wonder if they're going to continue this annually. I hope it's next year. I hope we don't have to wait like 3 years and then finally we get season 2. Like we have to wait for some movies to come out, right? I hope that's not the case. I hope we get to see a little bit more of what was left off in season 1 and not, have it set like years later. This is after the event. Season 2 is after the events of this certain movie. I hope it really picks up from here, because this last episode, it really feels like a middle episode for a season, in my opinion. And that's not just because it's 6 episodes. Because you can have a nicely told story within 6 episodes, even less if you really wanted to. But with this, I know they're setting up. I know this is basically the spark for the multiverse, which is cool, awesome. Let's get into it. But I just felt like there was so much build up, so much hype for this last episode, because each episode of this season kept getting wackier. It kept getting like up there in terms of groundbreaking entertainment per se. Like we saw for the first time variants in the multiverse, you know, like we saw that on our screens. Like that's something only the comic books have done so far. So to know that this last episode really kind of takes a standstill after they do its final reveal, it kind of felt just a little lackluster, just a little, because they finally reveal the one who remains, which is basically, they never say his name, but it's basically Kang the Conqueror. It was a real pleasant surprise to see Jonathan Majors pop up at the end of this series as Kang the Conqueror, or He Who Remains. And to see him pop up, it really got me excited. And once he appeared, again, like I said, everything comes to a standstill. It's all about, okay, let me kind of drag this on a little bit. He still talks in, like, not riddles, but like it still sounds like he's dragging stuff out. He doesn't just want to like flat out say and answer all those questions. Sure, he describes his purpose and he describes why everything happened the way it did, but it still leaves a lot of questions, a whole bunch of questions. I know they're setting up for future movies and projects. Sorry, I hit the mic there. I don't know if that was spiked. But anyway, I know they're saving up and they're building up for that and they're leaving it open. But I just wish this final episode had some type of like, I'm not asking for like a huge battle sequence. But I just felt like it could have like pushed it a little more. Just a little more, like, and in that way, and what I mean by that is, like, reveal a little more stuff. Like, Ravana's character, we just see walk off and go to whatever she goes to. She says to Owen Wilson, I'm going to go find free will, or whatever, you know? Like, I wish we had a true, like, they still teased us a little bit about Ravana's true nature. They showed us that little high school scene where she's actually, like, a professor or whatever. And there's like slowly peeling her layers back and revealing her to us. And I thought that we were going to see her and Jonathan Majors' character together, because in the comics, they're like together. They're boyfriend and girlfriend, or wife and husband, or whatever. They're each other's love interest. So I thought they were going to finally maybe like come together and reveal it together as maybe like a couple in this last episode. But other than that, like it's very interesting to see the spark of the multiverse start up. Like literally, there's a shot of just the multiverse itself, the white line and the verging paths, and I'm just looking at it like, wow, this is it. It is here. My goodness, like this is every comic book fan's dream. Like we were kids dreaming of this moment, you know? Like the next big thing that could happen is a Marvel versus DC movie. Like imagine that. Like that's like the next thing to get to, is like crossing those two big superhero juggernauts, you know. But of course you got to establish each universe properly. Marvel's already doing its job, so DC needs to play catch up a little bit, but that's in DC's favor a little bit because they have time to build it up, you know. Marvel is already 10 years in. DC still can basically start fresh if they really wanted to, which I think they are. But yeah, with that being said, man, like the ambition for these films is getting bigger and bigger. Now it's stepping into the realm of stuff like we only dreamed of could happen with enough build-up. And we're already 10 years into this thing, so it's beautiful. It was a beautiful moment to see the multiverse in all of its CGI glory on my screen. It filled my comic book heart with joy, and I couldn't ask for anything better. Wait, yes I can. I wanted to see a little bit more of the multiverse, a little bit more of the shenanigans that could go on. But of course they're saving that. They are. And it's very interesting to see what comes next after this. I don't want to spoil too much of what happens towards the end, but I love the Loki and Sylvie fight, the last fight that they have, and the bittersweet kiss that they share towards the end. Like every good relationship, no matter how genuine it might feel, every good thing must come to an end. Such is their relationship. So it's going to be very interesting to see where their dynamic goes forward in season 2. And if it's going to lead into any of the other movies. Like, is Sylvie and Loki going to pop up in Thor, Love and Thunder? I don't know. I hope so. I would love to see what Taika Waititi could do with these characters, you know? And how would this lead into Ant-Man and the Wasp? How about Spider-Man and I was gonna say the Multiverse of Madness, but no, that's not his title. No Way Home, you know. And how does it tie into Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness? This literally leaves it hanging for every other Marvel project to come, even the Fantastic Four. It leaves open a lot of doors, and I'm excited for it. I'm really wondering if the final reveal in this episode, which I don't want to give away here because I kind of want to keep this spoiler free and save my thoughts for the rendered image, which again, 8 p.m. live tomorrow night, every Thursday. But as of right now, I want to save my thoughts for when I talk back and forth with Tyler about it. But I wonder if the last event that happens, the last reveal, the last twist at the end of this episode, is it going to pick up in season 2? Or is it going to pick up in one of like a Spider-Man movie? Because the Spider-Man movie we know is rumored to be a multiverse movie. I mean, come on, it's going to be a multiverse movie. So I wonder if any of the repercussions after Loki are going to be mentioned or brought up in Spider-Man or in Doctor Strange. And, you know, so it's going to be very interesting. But yeah, as of right now, the last episode alone gets 3.5 stars. Maybe I'm being a little hard on it, maybe not. And it really makes me want to go back and see if every other episode was actually a 5 out of 5. I just had a lot of fun with the past 5 episodes, and when it came to this 6th episode, felt a little dialed back. Like they wanted to, like they have enough to show, but they only want to show what they want, and that's smart. You know, you don't want to blow your entire load out in one episode. It was an awesome season 1. I might do a whole review on season 1. And in that video, I might describe and be distinctive on each episode, whether or not they're actually 5 out of 5s. But if you want me to do that, let me know in the comments below, or just move on to the next property. I might just do both. But anyway, that is it for today. If you reached the end of this video, thank you so much. It means so much to me. Like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed. Please support, help get this video seen and my content seen by a number of people. So please, I'm not to beg, but I'm desperate. No, I'm kidding. And again, tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m. live, Thursday night, the rendered image. I'm on there, top right hand corner. Thank you so much for reaching the end of this video. Hope you are well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.